Try something different. Price Pritchett is teaching us. I think many of us just get stuck in the process of inertia, not even wanting to take a small step to try something different because we feel that small step is futile. It's not. If you've never heard of the butterfly effect, I'm going to put a link in my podcast details. The essence of the butterfly effect is the wings of a butterfly, when they flutter, can change the entire environment across the globe. Therefore, trying something different begins a whole new process for you and your life moving forward in the whole direction that you want. So your end result will become possible. Let's take COCO GAUFF. 19 years old, another teenager, because Serena Williams was one back in 1999, who won the U.S. Open. She admits that she won because she tried something different. In the interview, she said, "I slightly changed one aspect." She tells us all she did was move back off of the court. She knew that her opponent hit really hard, and this velocity would lessen if she moved back from the court. And that's what helped her win the U.S. Open. Her dad also told her, "We need to do something different. Let's change things up." Meaning that, he clarified, that she was at a level where she needed other coaches. Now that's a seismic change. However, she was open to doing it, she embraced it, and it got her to go forward. On an everyday, try something different. I work in a very toxic environment. It's in addition to my podcasting career, on my online public speaking courses. This is in addition to what I already accomplished in my life. The toxicity of this environment is so hostile, so combative toward me, that I tried something different. I happen to love working with seniors, which is what is the issue, what my environment is in this capacity. However, there's a lot of jealousy with someone who is there. I have tolerated it for 5 months, and it came to my mind, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to get transferred. I'm going to stay here, but I'm going to have a different environment, work with different people. I'm going to work with professionals, not people who are going out of their way to be toxic and combative to me every day. Went up to human resources. I'm going to get the transfer. They completely understand the situation. They understand my value, and they want me to stay. Now, these wheels may move a little slower than I want them to, but this is what it means to try something different. Many people would quit. They would just resign. However, I believe in the process of trying something different. Price Pritchett teaches us this, and there's a short clip in my podcast details where he'll teach you the quantum leap strategy for free. Just listen to the clip. It's really good stuff. I love this man. Kundalini Yoga. I put the wrong link last week on my podcast details. It's supposed to be a link for brain acupuncture. What does that mean? Well, I love this particular Sikh. I call him a yogini. I have been studying with him for years online also. The whole idea of the brain acupuncture is to help you de-stress with all of these things that are going on in your mind, with our minds, with social media, texting, your phone pinging, you name it, just all these crazy things that are going on. It's a very relaxing Kriya. He'll tell you that you look silly when you do it, but you can do it for 3 minutes, and it literally will change your stress level when you're dealing with all the social media. I have to deal with social media in my own businesses, so I understand the stress, and it's perfect Kriya for that. Why? One of my favorite industry newsletters, which is free, and I believe it's written for the non-geeky person also, is called 750. Recently, there was an article, which I included in my podcast details, how no one is paying attention or purchasing South African wines. Let me share with you, that is bullshit. I have been selling South African wines for 20 some odd years. There are some, and they said that no one's doing this because of politics, because of apartheid. That's malarkey. That's like saying nobody's buying German wines because of the Holocaust, because of the Nazis. That's just malarkey. The reason that people are not buying South African wines is because they're simply not being marketed properly. They're not being put on the floor. For someone to say that it's because of politics and apartheid, you have missed the boat. And in this article, the other thing that I'm going to rant about is they highlighted wines that you folks will never, ever find. You're actually drinking South African wines already. I can promise you, you're drinking Excelsior. I can promise you, you're probably drinking a wine by Raats, because if you're going to, I know it's a weird name, it's R-A-A-T-S. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Raats. I've met all these guys because I worked with Cape Classics, one of the preeminent importers of South African wines. So for this article to claim that people are not buying South African wines is bullshit. So in my next podcast, I'm going to name all the wonderful South African wines that you can actually find and buy. And they're at many of your retailers, because I can promise you, you're already drinking some of them, because they know how to market their wines. There. End of rant. I couldn't believe this article. It irritated me so much because it's simply not true. To wrap this up, don't stay in a toxic environment. Try something different. Don't quit. Don't resign. Try within the company, or if it's a client, try something different. In your personal life, take a different route home. Price Pritchett tells us all this time, you can take little baby steps. To try something different removes you from inertia, and it propels you forward in the way you want your life to be. Check out the clip. Kundalini Yoga totally will help you. Acupuncture for the brain. It's not even 3 minutes when you watch his video. And lastly, wine. South African wines are amazing. These people don't know what they're talking about. I've been marketing and drinking them for years. And by the way, the French, because property is so expensive in France now, many of the French have vineyards over there now also. The weather is the opposite, right? When it's winter in Bordeaux and Burgundy and Loire, they're over in South Africa producing wines. So bull on this woman who wrote this article. She couldn't be further from the truth than, whatever. Some of the other stuff. Conspiracy theorist. Oh, I don't want to go there. And in conclusion, I'm Valerie Helm. I create this podcast once a week to help people improve their thinking process, because remember, thoughts become things. Choose the good ones. I also teach an online speaking course. It's virtual. It's affordable. If you know anyone, especially kids who are just going into junior college, whatever you guys call it, community college down here, happy to help them. Merci et au revoir.